Hello, everyone, and welcome. It is 1 p.m. on April 23rd. We just got the closing bell, and we got a pretty interesting session today. Let's see how everything worked out. So, in our S&P, what were we expecting? We were expecting a bounce from where we were, which was around the MA 90, up to either the EMA 8, the EMA 20, or MA 50. As you can see, we got a pretty strong day today. So we did indeed bounce and we moved beyond that EMA 8 level. But yesterday, what were our critical levels? We said we wanted to see it get to 505, to get above 505, then get to 510, and then we would see from there. We felt that probably it would get topped out around 510. But if it's a little bit stronger, we might hit that MA 50. If this market is super strong, then we'll go and challenge the all-time highs, but that's pretty low probability. So we did make our way above the EMA 8 today and stayed there. It was actually pretty strong. And because of that, now our expectation is, hey, we're probably going to make our way up to that EMA 20. Once we get there, we'll see if we can make it to the MA 50 or if that's it, and then we start heading back downwards. So let's see how that develops throughout the day. Over here, on the daily chart, we can see that we went straight up through that 502.43. So this yesterday's peak, yesterday's high didn't prove to be much of a resistance at all today. Once we went up through it, what did we do? We came back and we retested it. So remember what we said yesterday. Market makes a move, then it rests, then it tests. Okay, then it moves, it rests, it tests. That's the normal breathing pattern of the market. Just like for us, we breathe in, we breathe out. We breathe in, we breathe out. Actually, we breathe in. Usually there's at least a little bit of a pause before we breathe out again. So the market is the same way. So it takes a breath in, it pauses, it breathes out a little bit, then it can breathe in. So we did move up, come down, retest that 502.5 level, and then we traded all the way up to this 505 level that we said, hey, we're going to probably see a lot of difficulty here because we did see a lot of trading action at that level in the previous days. And then we basically stayed there all day. We did get above it, but remember, we're talking about regions. We're not talking about specific lines. So we stayed in this 505-ish region for the rest of the day. So the longer we stay here, so we went up to the 505 level. So if we go up to the 505 level, the longer we stay here, the less conviction the bears have. So the less conviction the bears have, then the more likely movement upward is that we're going to test to the upside and then move to the upside. If we came down, then if there was fear in the market, if there's fear in the market, we're dropping, we're falling, and then we come to a level, the longer we stay there, that means the harder the bulls have to work to try to get it up, and they're trying for a really, really long time. They're struggling for a long time to get the prices back up. Well, the longer that goes on, the less likely they are to actually get prices to move, and then we would expect the prices to move down. So today was the opposite. We moved up, and then the bears started to come in. That's why we have all this consolidation around here, bear, 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 bear. Then the bulls get a little bit more progress, bears keep on coming in, and then we chop sideways. The longer we go sideways, the more likely we are for the bears to run out of juice and to move upwards. So it really does look like, unless something different happens, the market will keep on breathing throughout the night in the other markets, in the European markets, and the Asian markets. So we're going to wait for that to see what happens overnight. But if it's similar to this, or if it just chops sideways all night, then we're going to expect that we can continue to move upwards and that we will probably come up to this 510 level, which is above the EMA 20. So we might get stopped out by the EMA 20. 510 is actually pretty close to the MA 50. We would call that region, that in the region of the MA 50. So either way, we could get stopped out at that 508. If we're a little bit stronger, then we might get stopped out at that MA 50. And then that'll be a good place to start looking for opportunities to short, because if it makes it above the MA50, then we're saying, hey, well, that's quite a distance to go to the all-time highs. And realistically, for us to come down and just bounce straight back to the all-time highs without any sort of pause or rest is very low likelihood. So this is becoming the kind of target to look at. I personally wouldn't try to be initiating any new shorts here. I would wait until that EMA 20 or that MA 50 for new shorts. Right, so things are in the short term looking nice and bright and positive. We can see that that over here we bounce off of that MA 200, EMA 100, EMA 100, that -2 ATR. Things are short term, temporary, looking pretty good. But again, we're not going to get suckered into the. Some things will be determined by things like earnings. So earnings are right now currently the biggest force in the market, and it is the most natural force in the market at the moment. Other than the normal trading patterns of the market, earnings are highly related to the markets. They're not exactly the market, but they are, at least on the longer term, on a fundamental level, yes, they are the market. So, but something like the Fed and interest rates, that's outside the market, that's an outside influence on the market. And then for sure, geopolitical stuff is completely outside the market. So if we look at our earnings for tomorrow, so tomorrow before, or today after close, today after close in the United States, we have a whole bunch of them, but look at that one, Tesla. So let's sort these by market cap. We've got Visa, and Tesla. Texas, I believe this is Texas Instruments, TXN. Yes, Texas Instruments. Very large cap stocks right here. All eyes are going to be, Tesla is much more newsy than Visa is. So Tesla is going to be the major player right here. If we look at tomorrow before market, Pepsi is a staple. No one expects a lot of volatility out of Pepsi. Danaher Corp. That GE is going to be well washed and well followed. Philip Morris, another staple. Really, LMT, defense. So the big one, the really newsy one is going to be Tesla. And Tesla Tesla by itself, depending on what happens on earnings, if they tank, that could end our little bounce right here. And we could just turn around from where we are. We will call that, oh, we hit the EMA 8 region. And we went a little above the EMA 8, but we hit the EMA 8 region and we came back down. Well, Tesla has the power to do that if they do really, really poorly. They've been doing poorly in the markets lately. So if there's nothing super amazing in their earnings and in their reports, then we could have a pretty big disappointment and that could come down. If Tesla does amazing and gaps above its EMA 20 or trades all the way up to its MA 50, well, that's going to help QQQ and the S&P. And so we could probably get all the way to our EMA 20 and MA 50 as well, just because of how large and influential, not just large, but influential Tesla is on many other stocks, and the sentiment that we feel inside of the market. If Tesla is tanking, it's hard for retail investors to feel good about the rest of the market. So we are going to watch those earnings very, very carefully. Let's take a look at how broad this little bounce was. So is it only in a couple of sectors or is it in a whole bunch of sectors? Well, let's take a look right here, get our sector scan going. And it's pretty broad. There is only materials was down, TLT and gold are down, silver was slightly up. Everything is up. Everything else is up at least a little bit, and above 1%, like half the sectors, more than half the sectors are up over 1%. So this is very broad based. So that's nice and healthy bounce. Let's take a look real fast haven't looked at fragmentation for a while. So let's take a look at that. I want my main average percent. Let me make sure I'm doing the right one. Where is main? Main average. Main average is 10, 11, 12. I want to look at 1 through 6. 1 through 6. Doing that? Okay, I'll just modify it. It's not 1, 3, 6. Okay, so I've got semiconductors, silver, gold, home builders, financials, energies, industrials, utilities, retail. So still some fragmentation, but nothing huge. The biggest fragmentation here is this Y being kind of far away from that K, but otherwise not bad. So when we came down, looks like we mostly got defragmented and on our way up. So that's nice and good news. So just based on that, we would say, hey, there's a reasonable chance that we could get to that MA50. But again, the dominant force is going to be those earnings, especially Tesla. And then what was the other large one that we had today? Oh wait, I'm looking at the wrong one. I would need to know tomorrow before market, today after market. So tomorrow before market, we've got Thermo Fisher, AT&T, nothing too exciting, Boston Scientific, GD. So maybe Boeing. Boeing has definitely been very newsy lately, but no one's going to be surprised if they're down after all that negative news. If they're really positive, that might generate a surprise for Boeing. And then today after market, I did get that one correct. So Tesla, yeah, Tesla and Visa are by far the largest, but Tesla is by far more newsy than Visa. So Tesla is going to determine a lot. I wonder if they already announced TSLA. But yeah. Okay, so looking so far so good. It's actually looking like it's spiking up. Okay, if this continues into tomorrow, so it looks like we have a reasonably good chance of hitting that EMA 20, and then maybe even that MA 50. So we'll look forward to an upward movement tomorrow, but as we near those levels, once again, we're going to prepare to go short in the market. Okay, so that's by far the dominant force in the market right now. There's really no need to look at much else. So we're going to leave it right here. Just know that we're probably headed higher for tomorrow, maybe a day after that. And then we're really going to start positioning ourselves to go short. Okay, guys. So just get ready for most likely a nice positive day tomorrow, and then position yourselves to the short side. I will see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful